Ohio. Porec, the city in Croatia, on the western coast of the Istrian Peninsula. The population -7585 people, with suburbs and the next settlements -17460 people. 2001. Porec is connected by regular long-distance bus traffic to the large Croatian cities and also to Italy and Slovenia. The city is connected by coastal highways with the cities of Rovinj, Pula and Umek, and also with Rijeka and through it, with other Croatia. Once big and important port, nowadays serves mainly tourists, its cargo value isn't enough. Porec, as well as all Croatian Istria, is multinational. Croats, Slovenes, Italians, Serbians, Albanians. And traditionally very much we suffer two different cultures. Many inhabitants define the nationality as Istriats. Tourism brings the most part of income of the city. Except tourist service, the population is engaged in fishery, the fish processing, food industry and agriculture. History. The settlement on the place of Porec existed since prehistoric times. About 200 years ago, during government of the Emperor Octavian Augustus, Porentium officially received the status of the city. Very advantageous position of the city in the depth of the bay covered from the sea with street. Nicolay's Island contributed in rapid growth of the city and port. In the 3rd century in the city the Christian community was based, and in the 6th century the Euphrasian Basilica, which remained up to now, was constructed and decorated with a mosaic. Since 478, time of fall of the Western Roman Empire, for 1267 when the city began to belong to Venice, Porec repeatedly changed governors. It Lombards, Ostgota, Franks, Byzantines, Slavs owned. The last came to Istria in the 7th century. The Venetian Republic owned the city more than 500 years up to the falling. During swimming across Adriatic Sea in 1697 p.a. Tolstoy wrote down in the diary. The city of Porec of the building stone is put over the sea on the Veselovity place. And about it there is a lot of Olivny gardens. Food in that city. Bread, both meat and vegetables, are cheaper than Avpola. And the Domovny building in that city of Porec all stone. In 1797 Porec was annexed to the possession Gabsbergaf. During 1805-1813 the city was controlled by Napoleonic troops, and in 1813 Porec departed Austria again. After World War I, Porec together with all Istrian Peninsula passed Italy, while other Dalmatia was a part of the Kingdom of Serbians, Croats and Slovenes, as later than the Kingdom Yugoslavia. After World War II the city became a part of Yugoslavia. After disintegration of the last in 1991 the city became a part of independent Croatia. Sites. The old city, many buildings of Porec are built on the bases of ancient Roman constructions. The remains of the Roman Forum at Marifor Square. Large number of palaces and buildings of the Venetian period. Dokumenskaya Street, former Roman, the main city road conducting to a forum. Euphrasian Basilica. The 6th century. Represents the Trianethny temple with an atrium and an octagonal baptistry. In the 4th century at a diocesan limur the church was constructed here, and after 539 at Evrazia's diocesan the modern basilica is constructed. In a basilica the Byzantine mosaics remained. The complex of Euphrasian Basilica is entered in the UNESCO World Cultural Heritage List in 1997. The Northern Tower is located to the northeast from the historic center of the city. It is constructed in the 15th century and partially kept up to now. The Pentagonal Tower is located at the beginning of the central city Decumana Street, at an entrance to the historic center. The tower is built in Gothic style in the middle of the 15th century. The facade of a tower is decorated by the Venetian lion. Up to the beginning of the French invasion at the beginning of 19th tower it was connected to City Gate. City strengthenings. Up to the 17th century Porec was surrounded the system of strengthenings built in the 12th, 16th centuries. Till our times they're separate parts, the most remarkable of which are pentagonal. 1447. Around 1473. And semicircular. 1475. Towers are kept. Strisky municipality, the building in which Francis's church constructed in the 13th century was originally located. In the middle of the 18th century the facade of the building was in good spirits fashionable then Baroque style. The building keeps the purpose to this day. A little earlier it was used for meetings of Parliament of Istria, and today in his mute the district parliament sits. Marifor Square, the oldest and biggest city square. On the square the Temple of Mars and the Big Temple which once was the biggest in Adriatic Sea are located. To the west from it the Temple of the Neptune is located. The House of Two Saints, the small house built in Roman style which facade is decorated by statues of two saints. The Romance House, constructed in Roman style with an external ladder and a wooden balcony restored in 1930. The Temple of the Neptune, so called. The Big Temple built at the beginning of the 1st century is located to the northwest from Marifor Square. Only a part of its walls and a facade reached our days. The Temple of the Neptune is located in the park to the west from Marifor Square. Only separate fragments of this ancient temple devoted to God of the Sea are kept. The round towers constructed in the second half of the 15th century are located near People's Square and perfectly remained up to now. Are open for free visitation. The Museum of History of the city is located in the building of the palace built in the 18th century in Baroque style. On the first floor of the museum there is a collection of stone fragments with the Roman Holy Scriptures and the ceramics collection found in the course of historical excavation. On the second floor it is possible to get acquainted with a collection of portrait painting and objects of use of families Kopar and Kali, which last descendant lived in Porec. The museum also possesses the collection of sculptures relating to the early Middle Ages and also rich library and a selection of historical documents. Climate and weather. The city is under the influence of a temperate Mediterranean climate to which there correspond a warm, dry summer and soft winter. The average number of light hours in a year -2388. Average of light hours -10 in day. The lowest temperature of the sea at coast of the city fluctuates ranging from 9.3 C up to 11.1 C in the winter and reaches 23.3, 25.1 C in July-August. Salt content in seawater about 36-38 per mils. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.